I'm Unruly. Welcome back to Unruly Horror. Today's video is a quick discussion about The Conjuring 2. Now, The Conjuring 2 is based on the real-life events of the Enfield poltergeist in London, on Enfield Street. Pretty big case back in the 70s because, there was police officers as witnesses, the press got involved, and obviously, there were fakers and all that. And the most famous part of it, which the film does okay in it, I guess, is the voice coming out of Janet. When I was 14 years old, I watched the real life video shot in the actual house with the real life Janet sitting on the settee. And she's just sitting there like that, and you can just, the chills, man. Even just talking about it. Because it's like I can't do it. But it's such like a growl. And honestly, no one it's coming from her. And what Janet said when the voice was coming, she could feel as if it was blown on her neck. And it was the actual recording of "My name is Bill." It is honestly, go watch it. Go watch the actual footage on YouTube. It will freak you out. When this movie was announced, I even put on Facebook, I said, I'm going with high standards. I know all about the Enfield poltergeist. I want to see how well they do in making this a Conjuring film. I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't disappointed at whatsoever. They did use Bill, the ghost, and I really like how, because this is the first film with, Valak, the nun. And it was because of this film we got the film, The Nun. I like how they've turned the story of Bill haunting the house to Bill haunting the house because there's a demon forcing him to. They did the fakery, where Janet's on camera smashing the stuff in the kitchen. That did happen, but obviously not as much as what the film says, because I believe in real life Janet and the sister only bent some spoons, bent some spoons to see if they'll get caught, and they did. Apparently there's a recording, which I've heard of, which is apparently Janet being dragged out of the bedroom. There's a photo that freaked me out which is in the film as well. Because in the film, they've locked the room off and there's crosses everywhere. And when the man breaks in, she's got a curtain wrapped around her face trying to strangle her. That happened, but not to that extent, obviously. The picture is the curtain slowly moving towards Janet, going around her neck, but the mum obviously... No, not. It was the mum who got it off. That's what I looked for when I was watching. And I've got to say, they did it perfect. They did it perfectly. Obviously, it starts off with Amityville, because that's the thing I noticed, they're in Amityville. Now, I didn't know they were in Annabelle until you see the kid with the bright eyes. Because there's the famous picture of that in the Amityville house where there's a kid staring. And of course, it goes through the whole murders. And what I liked is because the Warrens did do Amityville and they did do Enfield. But what I liked is the little prediction at the end of what's meant to be his death, which obviously is, you see it hinted at in the end of the film, but luckily they save him. They got a lot of details right, like such as the first bit of activity in the house was a chest of drawer moving. Now, it didn't move what it did in the film where the two girls are scared and it moves across. Apparently, according to what I've read, the chest of drawers going side to side to side and then moved. That's good. Because introduce, I don't know if it was a big family. All I know is they got Madison, someone, I forget her name, to look a bit like Janet in real life. And that's good. Even though she's American, she does a good British accent. Yeah. Pretty good. There were, like, people back then probably didn't have a lot of money. Decimal system had just come in. The biggest scare I got was when Margaret Thatcher popped up. Yeah, it's good because it shows, like, the importance of family in horror films, where, because with poltergeist activity, it is like a kid. Basically, normally a poltergeist is nothing but energy. It's nothing but bad energy that a person admits. And that's why normally, I think 80% of poltergeists are in houses with teenage girls, because there's a lot of stress and pressure at that age that they put out and can manifest a poltergeist. But in this case, yeah, it was a negative spirit, not a demon. In the actual case, in the film, it was a demon. So yeah, the police get called because they think someone's broke in. Every time I do a video, that door creaks. The police get called, and the chair moves on its own, which, if you know about the real poltergeist, I'm just going to say the real life one and the film one, to split them up. The real life case, the police officer witnessed a chair levitate and move, and then they had some Legos chucked off the head. It's also good how, when the policemen are talking to the press, how good they recreate that. Because if you watch the real life report on the Enfield poltergeist, you see them walking out the station and then you see them cut to where they're talking, and the film just perfectly imitates that. So you got to give it credit there. That's a really good thing they've done. Obviously they've got, the negative side, the press call them fakers. You've got this one woman saying they're only doing it to move house. The kids that get bullied at school, like they show in the film. Not really much known about the school life, just apart from a few reports I've read. The Warrens get involved. They do when they hear the voice, they do the famous water. Because what they did is, in the film, they only made her drink water. Well, put water on her mouth and hold it. But in real life, what they did was I forget his name. Morris Grossman, that's it. What he did is he made Janet take a little bit of water and he put some tape on her mouth and made her sit, hands down. And that's when they would do the recording sessions to know there's no way this one could be making any noise. And I just say, how the hell did they get someone to look like Morris Grossman? If you look at the real life Morris Grossman and the one they got in the film, they could be twins. Or in this case, father and son. They do all that. Like Morris, God bless him. He stuck with the real life family all through this capturing. He captured the famous how do I describe it? It's where she is meant to be thrown out of bed, but it does look a bit like, she's jumped because of how her knees are. That could just be her trying to see if she can fake it. But I do believe they were actually haunted in real life. And just like in the film, after a while, people start to go, oh, they're faking it. What I do like is the gradual possession of Janet, from where it's just affecting her so much till we're at the end, because that's what they hinted on. That's how they link the first Conjuring film with this one, is the possession stages, the oppression, the activity, and then at the end the possession, because you see how much it's breaking her down. Like the colour draining from her face, are unable to sleep. So paranoid, she ties like a jump rope around her wrist and attach it to the bed. Now, what I didn't know was how they would do the teleportation. Yeah, that's what it's called. What's it called? Is it teleportation? No. Where you go from one room to the other with like passing through the walls. Apparently Janet did that. Now, I don't know if it's been captured on recording or photo, but apparently she did go through a wall once. I find that hard to believe, I really do. But what I do like is they got the chair correct. The actual chair used in the real life. What's that? I've got a hole in my shirt. I had no idea. But yeah, in real life, there was a guy called Bill who lived in that house, and he did die from brain hemorrhage, sitting in the chair. And of course, the main skeptic was, Janet could have looked it up, but it was a public record, yeah. But you got to realise, 1970 odd. No computers. So unless you're saying to me this like 13, 14-year-old kid got a phone book, got a phone, and somehow found out the previous owners of the house, pretty unlikely. What I do like is the crooked man. Because, the little brother, speech impediment, trying to learn the crooked man. How does it go? There was a crooked man, he lived a crooked life, or something like that. Which was played by Javier he's a creature actor. He's been in It. He's been in this film. He's been in Wreck. He was in Slender Man. I'm just looking at my horror collection over there to see if I can recognise any. Mama, I think that was Javier Bardem. Don't know about the Midnight Man. I don't think he was the Midnight Man. I know he was Slender Man. Wreck, I've said. It, I've said. Yeah, he plays a crooked man in. If rumours have been told, he's going to be reprising that role in a standalone film like The Nun, who really is the main villain in this, because it's her demon which is haunting Lorraine, showing her images of Ed's death, and Ed paints a photo of her, which, I mean, somebody had to create that portrait. Nah, no love of money could have made me go, you know what, I'm going to create this for a film. Nah, mate. It shows her images, and apparently this is hinting at Judy being psychic, but you don't really see that in this film. Apart, I don't know, you might see it in The Conjuring 3, which, with any luck, is coming out this year. And also, if you've got your good eyes, you'll know that about, what, 3 times the show Valak's name. Once where Lorraine went in a trance and has wrote Valak in a diary. Valak is on the wall behind her. And in that same scene, Judy is creating like a bracelet, and Valak is spelt on the bracelet. And which one is it? I think it's the breakfast scene early on in the film when Judy's walking in. There's like Valak spelt on the shelf. And throughout this film, you know, like I say, there's a lot of, if you miss it, you'll miss it. Like when they're fixing the burst water pipe, you see that it's directly below the kitchen. And later on in the film, that's how Ed has to smash into the house to get and rescue everybody. And of course, throughout this, you know, they've got like tape recordings, and twice this demon has spoken and it's been recorded, but it doesn't really make sense. Once where they're doing the water sipping, and you see like Janet transform into Bill, the old man. And when Ed gets the cross, he goes, "No, well, okay, 10 points for Hufflepuff if I get this." What is it? She let go, or something like that. And then after Janet faked it and is hiding in the cupboard, it's "won't me," or something like that. "Won't me." And, you know, Lorraine's not been picking up on anything when they're staying there, so obviously Lorraine's skeptical about the entire film, about the entire story, because this is in the film. Main fault. And just as they're leaving, just after Janet's been exposed for faking it, they all think she's faked everything, and the papers are going to have a, you know, field day. They're getting on the train to go home, they're sick, they're apologising. And X marks the spot, because when they drop the tapes, it creates an X. And now that gets the old gears in Ed's head working, and he's like, "Oh, if I'm right about this," plays my door at the same time. And what does it do? She won't let me go. And then Lorraine gets a trance, realises Valak is keeping this old man's spirit in the house, making him do all the activity, because it's the plan to get them there so she can try and kill Ed. You know, they get back to the house, but too late. Janet's possessed. She's locked the door. I wonder how they did with the lightning striking the tree to make like the point, which obviously in the vision is how Ed dies. Ed gets in through the flooded basement, up the floor, gets steam in his eyes so he can't see. And at the very end, just as Janet's hanging out the window, Ed's hanging on the curtain's pulling apart, Lorraine gets in, gets pushed against the wall by the demon, and realises, because this is real, a power of a name gives you power over itself. And she says, "Valak," and the demon disappears. And everything's saved, and everything's good in the end. Janet survives, and the real life Janet is now married, I think. The real life Peggy died in 2000, and someone else lives in that house. Because after this film came out, there was a lot of YouTube videos of people going to the actual Enfield house and talking to the neighbours, because the guy who lived there, he doesn't want to talk. So activity might still be happening, but who knows? I know I'm never going to go to London and go to Enfield, because I am not messing with that. Anyway guys, that's today's video. I know I went a bit off topic talking a lot about the real life Enfield case, but hell, that's just me. I did this video without any notes because I was so confident I knew a lot about the Enfield poltergeist. I could just blag it, and I have. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. I'm going to do a lot of horror reviews in the coming time. I do a monthly haul of the horror movies I buy, so stick around for that. And I'm still trying to think of other video ideas I can do, because I've done list videos and I'm trying to think of other horror movies to rank, like I've done with Child's Play and The Conjuring. Anyway guys, thank you so much. Have a nice day.